continental drift, plate tectonics. You may recognize these terms from elementary school. It's basic science today. But in the 1950s, the idea was considered too far-fetched to be real. That is, until Marie Tharp mapped the Atlantic Ocean floor and proved the theory to be true. Her male colleagues dismissed it as girl talk. More on that later. Then, they took credit for her discovery. Her work changed geology forever. But for decades, history left her name out anyway. This is her story. Continental drift, an idea scientists thought to be absolute insanity until the mid-20th century. Names like Maurice Ewing and Bruce Hazen are remembered as the minds that exposed the true nature of planet Earth. But actually, continental drift and plate tectonics were first exposed by a woman named Marie Tharp. Before she mapped the seafloor, her life was already untraditional for a woman of her time. Born in 1920, Marie wasn't supposed to become a scientist. Women like her were expected to teach, marry, or become secretaries, not rewrite the history of planet Earth. But World War II cracked open a door. With men overseas, universities admitted women into fields that had previously been off limits. Marie seized the opportunity, earning degrees in geology and math. Then in the 1940s, she landed at Columbia University's Lamont Geological Observatory. The project she joined at Lamont was bold. For the first time in history, scientists were trying to map the ocean floor. Marie was the cartographer on the project. While ships crisscrossed the seas, dragging echo sounders, producing measurements of the sea floor, her job was to take the endless columns of sonar readings and turn them into maps. And here's where the story takes a wild turn. While the entire rest of her team worked aboard the ships to collect data, Marie, the only woman on the team, was told she wasn't allowed on the boat. The program's director, Maurice Ewing, forbade women from going to sea. He literally claimed women on ships were bad luck. So while her male colleagues sailed, Marie was left on land. But Marie was good at her job. As data came in every day, she toiled away, mapping more and more of Earth's last unmapped frontier. By 1953, Marie had enough sonar data stitched together to see patterns no one else could see. And what she found shook her to her core. Running down the middle of the Atlantic, she saw a huge valley, a gash thousands of miles long, splitting the ocean floor in two. If she was right, it was evidence that the seafloor was spreading. Proof of continental drift. Excited, she showed her collaborator, Bruce Hazen. His reaction? It cannot be. It looks too much like continental drift. Then, to drive the point home, he dismissed her discovery as, quote, girl talk. Think about that, the very map that would eventually rewrite Earth science, thrown aside and called girl talk. But Marie knew her math was solid. She redid the calculations over and over, each time finding that same rift valley. And Marie realized she was the only one who could see the big picture. She was holding the first real proof that the seafloor wasn't flat at all and that continents were moving. The only problem? The world's leading Earth scientists weren't ready to hear it. Bruce dismissed it until something happened he couldn't ignore. In 1953, new sonar readings revealed that earthquakes were clustered right along the same valley she had mapped. Suddenly, Bruce began to take the idea seriously. And when he began to present the findings to the scientific community, they listened. But here's the catch. When Bruce gave the talks and published the papers, Marie's name was almost always left out. At Princeton in 1957, after Bruce presented their findings, a geologist even stood up and declared, quote, "Young man, you have shaken the foundations of geology." But it was Marie who had done the work, confined to her office, barred from even boarding the research ships. And the fight wasn't over because the wider scientific world still refused to believe the continents could move. But the story doesn't end here. Marie's maps were about to spark a global battle over the future of geology. In 1957, and increasingly into the 1960s, Marie's work was so vital, Bruce finally began crediting her on publications. Papers finally began to say, Hazen Tharp. But even with Bruce finally sometimes backing her, the wider scientific community still resisted. Continental drift was hearsay, and Marie's maps became central to the debate. So what did she do? She doubled down. Marie gathered more sonar data from ships all over the Atlantic Ocean. She stitched the data together, longitude by latitude, ruler by pen stroke, until her maps were undeniable. She had finally revealed the complete Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the largest physical feature on Earth, 10,000 miles long. But the pushback just got louder. Even Jacques Cousteau tried to disprove her. He crossed the Atlantic with cameras strapped to sleds, hoping to show the seafloor was flat. Instead, his footage revealed towering black cliffs, the exact rift Marie had charted from her desk. Think about that. A woman banned from research ships was mapping the ocean floor more accurately than the men sailing right over it. As the evidence proving continental drift piled up, the scientific world could no longer deny it. Marie's Rift Valley proved seafloor spreading, which proved continental drift, which became the foundation of plate tectonics, which transformed geology. Later, when plate tectonics became accepted science, it was the men whose work was based on her maps who were remembered as its founding fathers. In 1968, after a feud between Maurice and Bruce, Marie was the one who got fired. She was forced out of the lab. But Marie didn't let this get in the way of her work. So, alone at her kitchen table, she created a new map. One that would become her crowning achievement. In 1977, she created the first complete map of the entire ocean floor. A revelation that showed the Earth's surface was a vast, connected system of ridges and valleys circling the globe. This map was published under both her and Bruce's names. Today, plate tectonics is the backbone of Earth science. But the woman who drew the maps that proved it, that was Marie Tharp. She spent decades shut out of ships, dismissed as girl talk, fired from her lab, watching her discoveries be credited to others. Yet she kept going. Marie showed us the Earth as no one had seen it before. So next time you see a map of the world, remember Marie Tharp, the cartographer who changed the very way we understand our planet. Thank you, Marie Tharp. Your discoveries changed the way we understand our planet. Here at Actually History, we're seeing history through a new lens and giving credit where it's actually due. Most of our stories are based on this book, and she co-wrote it. This is, to her credit, Historic Achievements and the Women Who Actually Made Them Happen by Caitlin Colmo and Emily McDermott. We kindly ask, if you're interested in our mission, hit like, subscribe, and stick around. More stories to come. Class is in session.